Should you put down a deposit on the new Tundra? Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive FST. So should you put a deposit down on the new Toyota Tundra? You know, first of all, let me preface this video by saying that I have put a deposit down one time on a truck, and it was my 2020 Toyota Tacoma. Now, that truck was already established, already in production, wasn't a brand new model, and there really weren't any unknowns about it. So it was a pretty safe way to go, I think, to get what I wanted. I had to put some kind of a deposit down in order to start the build, because I built one with a manual transmission and all spec'd out the way that I wanted it. But what about the new Toyota Tundra? You know, I've heard of a lot of people, well, a few people, putting deposits down on this truck with dealerships. Now, I find it a little strange because, first of all, this truck hasn't even been formally, well, it's been formally released, but not on the website or anything. In other words, there isn't a build section where you can go out to the Toyota website, pull up the truck, see everything that it comes with, all the specs, all the stuff that you need to know to be informed to build the truck. So it really doesn't exist yet in the form of being able to go see it and spec it, if you will. So I would say the short answer, first off, is no. I would not put a deposit down on a truck that doesn't even exist yet. And I find it baffling that dealerships are taking deposits for this truck because they don't really have anything to sell yet. And honestly, we don't know for sure when it's going to be available. You know, with the current chip shortages and everything else that's short right now, you know, can you really be confident that the truck is going to be built anytime soon? The one that you're trying to spec out. Now, there is an argument to do it, I guess, to be one of the first ones to get the truck. So if you're really jonesing to put your hands on one of these brand new Tundras, then maybe that's the way to go. But be advised that unless you're building it, which you can't do right now because there are no options to go out and see how to build it, then you're going to get whatever happens to come in. I guess what it probably really does, if you put a deposit down on the truck, you take a guess as to what trim levels are going to come in, because I'm assuming that if you're putting a deposit down, you have some kind of an idea of the truck that you want, the options, the trim level, that kind of thing, and that you're not just hoping or willing to take anything that comes in. I mean, it could be a base level Toyota Tundra. Now, if you're looking for that, I suppose that's okay, and if you don't have any real preferences to what you're going to get, yeah, then maybe. So what are the dealerships doing? Well, obviously, the more money they can bring in and sock into an account somewhere, you know, an interest-bearing account, the more free money they can make, right? I mean, if you've got, I don't know, 1,000 people that put down a $500 deposit, that's quite a chunk of change in interest, especially if that money is just going to sit in some sort of an interest-bearing account for months and months until the truck is actually available. So obviously, they're looking to take deposits for that reason. Secondly, it's a way for them to kind of capture customers, because obviously, if you put a deposit down, you are somewhat committed. And by the way, if you are putting a deposit down, make sure that you get it in writing, that that deposit is fully refundable for any reason. In other words, if the wind just blows the wrong way and you decide you don't want that truck, make sure you've got it in writing that you can get out of it and get your money back. And while you're at it, make sure that it states some sort of time frame as to when you're going to get your money back. I mean, they can tell you that, yeah, they're going to refund your money, 10 years from now. I mean, if it doesn't specify, there is no commitment from them. So make sure that you do that. It's very important. Now, I say you shouldn't do it. I don't think you should do it because you don't know what you're buying. You know, the truck is not established. It hasn't been out for a year, 2 years, a month, nothing. There's no history on it. You don't know what you're going to be able to get, and we don't know for sure what the packages are. What about pricing? You know, we haven't heard anything about pricing. So you're putting down a chunk of change, and I'm sure it's probably somewhere between $500 and $1,000. That's the typical number. So you're sinking $500 or committing $500 to $1,000 towards a truck that you don't know what it's going to cost. That doesn't seem right to me. You know, I wouldn't, you know, go out and buy, let's say, a washer and dryer, and it's not in stock at the Lowe's, right? They have to order it. But there was no price tag on the shelf there. You know, that little area they have the pricing on. There's no price there. It's blank. So you ask the guy, hey, you know, what's it going to cost? And he says, I don't know. But if you put a deposit down, we'll go ahead and order it for you. It doesn't make sense to me. So 3 weeks later, it comes in, or a month, or whatever it is, and it's double the price that you're willing to pay. Now you have to screw around and try to get your deposit back. Now, typically places like Lowe's, they don't ask you for a deposit, but you are waiting. I'm assuming you're buying that washer and dryer because you need it. So I wouldn't do it for that reason alone. If for no other reason, you've got to know what the thing is going to cost before you actually commit to it in any fashion. And if the dealership tells you that they know what the pricing is, they're lying. They don't know what the price is going to be. Nobody knows. Toyota hasn't released it. What about the fuel economy numbers? You know, I know that's important to a lot of people. The Tundra, which we're riding in right now, is horrible. It gets horrible gas mileage. You know, we have no idea what these new trucks are going to get. There have been guesses made based on other trims or other models that are out there, but that's all they are guesses. What happens if you commit, you order this thing, it comes in, and it actually gets less gas mileage, lower gas mileage than what you thought it was going to? Does that matter? I mean, in the end, if you go ahead and buy it, it's going to cost you more money than you may have accounted for. Now, if that's no big deal, I mean, it is a truck, right? Nobody expects high mileage out of trucks, but it could be a problem if it comes in and it's not what you expect it to be. So I just don't see the benefit in doing it right now, other than maybe putting your mark on some model, some trim line that comes in as soon as it gets there. Just be patient. I wouldn't do it, not at this point, and I would only do it if it was an established truck that was currently being built, had been built for quite a while. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that for a minute. You know, I don't agree with it. I think that dealerships are being kind of backhanded by accepting deposits for something that doesn't even exist yet, nor that they can tell you what the price is going to be. That to me is absurd. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've put down a deposit, why? Why did you put a deposit down? I'm curious to know. And how do you justify to yourself that you don't even know what the price is going to be? I'm just curious. I'm not dogging you. I genuinely just want to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.